Hi everybody, this is Marlette here, and this is just a really quick video answering a question that I got from a client about 10 minutes ago, and it's actually a question I get a lot, and so I wanted to actually answer that for everybody at once. So even if you are just kind of wondering about this question, let's get to it. The question has to do with meditation. As most of you know, I teach meditation, and I also emphasize meditation in a number of different arenas, both in terms of dealing with anxiety, dealing with certainly the mental constructs that we create for ourselves that can create anxiety, increased heart rate, breathing, all of those kind of panicky feelings, and also working with meditation on a level of increasing our ability to be sensitive to the environment around us, specifically in terms of insights and ideas that we get that we would call on the more intuitive level. So how do we meditate? What is the easiest way to meditate? I think that's where we get really hung up on this. People get hung up on specific methods, and this is our problem. The problem is that we get into this whole idea that we have to have this method, or we have to have that method, or we have to have this app, or we have to have that app. I just got an email a few days ago with this so many days. It wasn't 40 days or 30 days. It was 20 days or something like that. And it was a ton of stuff. We're going to meditate on this and meditate on that. We create these artificial hoops to jump through when it comes to meditation, and it kills the process. It really kills the process, because meditation, by definition, is a natural reality. When you meditate, it is simply you being you. It's nothing complicated, nothing complex, no hoops to be jumping through. The problem is that we like to create rituals. We like to create these walls that we have to conquer. Because if we conquer these walls, then I am the all-powerful meditator. And the fact is, it doesn't really matter. So when it comes to meditation, how do you start meditating? Well, first of all, you sit still. That's the first thing. Second, sit still, sitting up straight. If you're slumped over in your chair or slumped over sitting on the floor, you're not going to be meditating very well. So you're going to be sitting in a way that your body is natural. And that's the point, naturalness. In all of this, when we talk about meditation, it's naturalness. Then you're going to simply close your eyes and breathe. And as you breathe, you're going to pay attention to your breath. And as you pay attention to your breath, you allow it to deepen, to widen, to expand. Because this is the most natural way that we live, is by breathing. So as you sit there with your eyes closed and you're breathing, and you're noticing the breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out, you're simply going to stay with the breath. Now, there comes a point where we have to kind of deepen that experience perhaps a little bit. And the reason why is because you can only count your breath so much. You can only be aware of your breath so much, and then your mind starts to wander. And as you get used to that experience, and every time you get distracted by a thought, an impression, a feeling, to come back to the breath again, to come back to the breath over and over and over again, you find that space. And that's the beginning of meditation, is finding that space. Now, to define that space is a bad idea. I can't give you a description of what that space feels like, looks like, smells like, tastes like, because it's different for everybody, for one thing. And the other reason is because I would be setting up a situation where you would be expecting something. You would be expecting a feeling, expecting an insight, expecting some kind of experience. I can't give that to you because the experience itself is the experience. So, come back to the breath, come back to that simplicity, close the eyes, aware of the breath. Thought comes up, come back to the breath. Thought comes up, come back to the breath, over and over. And then the space will open up. And that is the beginning of meditation.